inside, and now go up, in. Here again, this is more for palpation. I've already kind of looked. Okay, and so that's palpation. Still keeping my hands separate.
Inspects teeth for caries, loose or missing dentition.
So here, pick the tongue blade back up. Help us to assess. We're looking at the teeth. I can peel back to look at the inner side of the teeth. So he has good dentition. Okay, so inspected the teeth. Back on a clean surface.
Now for tongue and buccal mucosa, inspects for color, symmetry, swelling, masses, lesions, ulcerations.
Okay, so since I'm inspecting tongues, the blade's gonna be my friend. Here again, peel back, look at the buccal mucosa. Peel back, look at the buccal mucosa. Make sure they don't open too wide. Look at the tongue. Lift the tongue up. Peel the tongue back to look back in the sides of the tongue. Okay, spit tongue out. Ah. Okay. We'll go ahead and look at the palate, hard palate, soft palate. Okay, I'll go ahead and look at the uvula while I'm at it, also, so remember what I'm looking at. Pharynx, tonsils, airways, patent. So I think what I have left to do is palpate the tongue and the buccal mucosa. So this time we're gonna go inside instead of going against the gum. Okay, here again, haven't touched anything with this hand. Tongue, rub it over it, spit tongue out. We'll get you some gauze, guys, but you'll grab the tongue, look kind of this side, look to this side, and then put your tongue back in. I'm gonna palpate the sides of this tongue, lift your tongue up to the roof of your mouth, palpate the base of the tongue, and then palpate right here at the floor of the mouth, make sure I don't feel anything. Okay, still not touching anything with this hand other than the tongue blade and the yeah, okay?
Ask patient to say ah, observing for symmetrical rise in soft palate and uvula.
So when you had that tongue blade there, here again, still not touching anything, say ah. Any surgeries in your past?
Nope.
Okay.
Do I have any in my future?
And
So-
then verbalize that you would test the gag reflex.
Yeah, so then you just say, I would test the reflex by taking the tongue blade and making them say ah, and then watching the gag reflex. Some people don't have a gag reflex, okay? So it wouldn't be necessarily abnormal if you didn't have anyone. Cranial nerves 9 and 10.
And then on the neck.
So on the next, now I can take my gloves off since I'm out of the mouth.
Inspects and palpates position of the trachea.
So here, looking at the inspection, trachea should be midline, it is. So I can kind of palpate down through here. Trachea is kind of mobile, see that? You can move it around, it's pretty cool. But, okay, so make sure it's midline, it is.
Palpates the isthmus and bilateral lobes of the thyroid standing behind the patient.
Okay, so it's okay if you palpate your thyroid from a posterior approach, which means coming from behind you, put your hands around your neck. So we find the thyroid cartilage, the cricoid cartilage, little hole here in between the two. And I just go right at the tip of that cricoid cartilage right here. I want my hands to almost meet, lay flat, because I want to catch my lobes by also catching the isthmus and the lobes. Have him swallow for me. Can you slightly flex your neck a little bit forward? Now swallow. Okay. Good, so I didn't feel anything swollen. You can also do an anterior approach to where you do the same thing, kind of. I would prefer you do the posterior, please. So there's the hole I was telling you about that you can kind of feel, thyroid cartilage, cricoid cartilage. You would come in, trying to catch the lobes and the isthmus as much as possible, have the patient swallow. Make sure you don't feel anything swollen, any nodules or anything like that. If you feel that you need to palpate it, you can kind of push over and palpate those lobes. And then push from this area and try to palpate those lobes to see if there's anything that you feel, if you thought it was swollen or you thought that you felt something.
Now on the lymph nodes. So
Lymph nodes, so you got occipital in the back, remember no piano fingers, okay, occipital, postauricular, preauricular, submandible. I usually do submental with one hand. Get behind the sternocleidomastoid muscle. Make sure you're really behind it. A student had a node a while ago, and I wasn't truly behind it because I wasn't palpating too tough on her, and you can really feel it. He's got one right there that you can film, so yes, you'll have to have surgery.
Yeah.
But it does feel like a lymph node there. It's small, not anything to worry about. You'll have to check that out, whoever his partner is. Anterior cervical. Tonsillar up in here, but off the mandible, up in here. He's also got a tonsillar lymph node you can feel right here. Okay. So, supraclavicular, palpate around. One thing you do is say hunch over for me, kind of, see how that really goes in? Helps you to get deeper inside there. Can you do this side? Here's the shoulder, there you go. So it really can get deep when you do like that. All right, relax. And then for modesty, I'll let y'all do infraclavicular on the bottom. Okay? Any questions? You have questions? Any questions? All right, guys, we'll practice. I'll scoot around.